I've got a lot of issues right now. Okay, anyways, you can cut it. All right. The consequences of my own actions. Maybe it's not the wisest thing to be a young kid with a political and religious career, but nonetheless, it seems like people respond well to it. So, right now, in response to doing speeches at Canary Wharf, Diss, and Dover, I have now had several reports done by Prevent, social services, and the police, all for either inciting racial hatred or for potentially being radicalized by certain people or organizations I'm a part of. Now, time for some transparency. Yes, I am the youth ambassador for Turning Point UK. It is a very mundane, milquetoast conservative movement that essentially talks about mass migration, transgenderism, and sometimes abortion, but although it's not very popular within this United Kingdom. It is a conservative think tank / pressure group / protest movement, and because of my involvement and also my involvement at Speaker's Corner, I am now currently being reported by all these three entities. Now, just outside Aston Villa football stadium, where of course the labelled "If You See a Zionist" called the anti-terrorist hotline propaganda has been posted all throughout the local area in antithesis for the national demonstration for Palestine. There's been more abbreviations that you'll be being able to see on screen, and this goes in comparison to the anti-Semitism posters that have been plastered all throughout Aston Villa football stadium. Arguing that their ban of Maccabi Tel Aviv fans is a form of inciting division within a very multicultural area.
Doing well. You insult the Prophet every weekend. You insult the Prophet every weekend. I don't insult the Prophet. You know you do. I don't insult the Prophet.
Well, you're not going to say that here, obviously, because it's going to aggravate people. But let me tell you something.
Well, you know what? I don't give any admiration to a Prophet that I believe is obviously false. However, I reciprocate the courtesy that's given to me. So, for example, the Speaker's Corner speakers who are embroiled in financial and sex scandals, I will say things to them that you probably don't like. However, that is the courtesy.
I'm unaware of that.
Well, I'm aware of a certain hijab.
I'm not.
We don't have to discuss.
I'm not from Hyde Park. I'm from Birmingham.
Of course, yeah.
So let's talk on our turf, and in our context. There's no sex scandals and there's no money scandals. But who I do address is Tommy Robinson, who speaks about Islam with total ignorance, and I suppose you yourself will speak with total ignorance as well.
Well, I disagree with Islam of the cusp that it bastardises the Old and New Testament prophets in the case of what they believe about God.
Well, doesn't the Old Testament say that Lot slept with his own daughters and Noah was a drunkard?
Do you know why though?
Meaning?
Do you know why Lot slept with his own daughters though? It was out of ignorance of God's commandment. Lot was ordered. Debate me on stage. Do you want to debate on Islam on stage? Do you want to do a stage discussion on this?
No, we carry on here.
We'll carry on here, yeah. So, yeah, do it on stage, yeah? Let's go on stage, yeah, go on, let's have a stage discussion on Islam.
Let's have a discussion here.
Right. So, what I'm saying is... So, you gave a challenge, actually. I was actually going to DM you about this, about talking about Islam. Now, I don't have any moral issues with Islam. However, I think Dreamer Theses would have an issue with it. But my issue with Islam is that I think it's a false religion, just off the cusp of what it teaches. So that's what I want to discuss about, really.
Theologically, if people of other faiths would deem the other faith as being false.
No, not off the merit of why I believe Christianity is true.
For instance, Hinduism, according to Christians and Muslims, would be false. Judaism, for you and me, would be false because it's tampered. They reject Jesus. According to Christians, they're Jesus killers. They're murderers of Jesus. The Jewish people murdered Jesus.
And of course, Christ himself was a Jew and so was his apostles. The fact is that, actually, here's an interesting point. No, there isn't a distinction. The Sanhedrin was the one that killed Christ, not the irregular Jewish laity.
There's a distinction between being Jewish, of Jewish faith, and of being from the Israelites. The Israelites is a racial designation, while Judaism is a religious designation. So Benjamin Netanyahu is not from Israelites. He's actually Judaic in faith. But Jesus was from the Israelites, but he was not Jewish.
He was a Jew.
No,
he was called a rabbi. He he was actually dedicated to the temple at the age of 12. So he was a Jew.
What do the Tel Aviv rabbis would swear at Jesus, insult Jesus,
And so would the Muslims for calling him God. You would say that I'm committing shirk and condemned to eternal hellfire.
Do you condemn the Tel Aviv
I
rabbis?
condemn religiously Jews that call me out for saying that Christ is my God, but I equally do it, 1 second, to the Muslims that say and reject the sonhood of Christ.
It's getting dangerous now. If you over there, you're going to prevent it. We need to prevent a breach of the peace.
Yeah,
you're winding
absolutely.
people up, so go that way.
I'm not going to wind them up. In fact, they invited me to a discussion. Send that to me. They know my name. I do, my friend.
Essentially, mate, is there section 35 dispersal order being put in place against yourself, okay? So you say
Why?
section 35 dispersal order has been authorised by Superintendent 7915 Hadley. The authority starts at 900 hours this morning. Okay.
Just to step on the footpath.
So what has he prescribed as the people who have been sectioned as?
Say again, sorry.
So who are the people that have been
It's not
given a
against-
section?
It's not against a group of people. It's being issued against people who we suspect are breaching the peace.
I dispute that because he invited
you dispute it. However, the
hold on.
put in place, and
The conditions under a breach of this. Okay.
Yeah, you can read. You can read.
Yeah, I can read it. So you tried to say that I am breaching the peace. However, you got me out.
We're doing everything we can to prevent a breach
Of course.
of peace.
Now, I'm happy.
Hence, you're being.
I am happy to stand here to film. However, I'm not happy to move an astronomical far away. That's probably even counting where my hotel is. So I'm not doing.
Sorry.
How far is that?
Well, there's a map there for you.
Is that where it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a hotel there.
Under what grounds have you issued? Are you trying to issue him this with?
Section 35.
You're also trying to offer him a Section 35 dispersal, yeah?
We need your details. Say again, sorry.
Under what grounds?
Explain it to me already.
No, it's only...
Breach of the-
No, listen.
Breach of the peace.
Check to him.
I know, but...
He was the one who literally invited me to come here.
Use their section.
He invited me to speak with him.
A minute, however, there's been numerous incidences now, hasn't there?
He invited me to speak with him.
Exactly.
That's not a breach of the peace, it's a consent. He's consented for me to be here.
prevent a further breach
Okay,
of the peace.
how about this?
Okay,
We can agree.
suspect you staying here is going to cause a breach
No,
of the
if
peace.
I stay on
Hence,
this
let me
road-
finish. Hence, you are being.
I have a hotel room here. I am not moving away from my hotel. You are sectioning me of an entire, even including Birmingham New Street.
Yeah.
I am not doing that. However, I want you to give me an argument for why I'm breaching the peace. I was invited to speak to the sheikh there. That's actually quite peaceful.
In the last 2 minutes, yes, you were. However, there's been numerous incidents in the last hour, okay, that have caused outbursts from parties from that side.
Could I suggest something? If I stay on this side of the road here, I wouldn't be breaching the peace. I wouldn't even be able to have contact with the people over there.
That's fine, but we've directed you to do that numerous times. You keep,
I was. In fact, I was staying there after you told
to do
me.
that numerous times. You keep coming back over and going onto that side.
You told me.
Into the middle of
You-
that
you told
protest,
me.
Okay, where further
I am-
arguments keep breaking out.
I am not.
Hence this
I am.
dispersal order has been
That
put
is
in place.
an invalid dispersal
It's
warning.
not.
I am not breaching the peace. Can you tell me how I'm doing that?
I've already explained it to you
And what
numerous
have I done?
times.
What
I've
have I
already
done?
explained
What
to
have I
you
done?
numerous times.
What have I done?
I've already explained it to you numerous times. We're going round.
What have I done?
So again. It's been, yeah. We need your details though. So
No, Bob.
happy to give you details?
Yeah?
Pardon?
And what do you want his details for?
Are you happy for him to leave without his details?
Yeah, you can't take... But what do you want his details for?
I'm not happy to leave.
He ain't giving his details in front of all these people and cameras, not a chance in hell. And also, under what section do you want his details in the first place? Because I'm his legal observer right about now.
It's a dispersal.
Yeah, but no, but what dispersal? We're not accepting no dispersal. Let's go, Bob. Let's go this way. Leave him.
What under what dispersal?
What are you detaining him under?
No, it's being dispersed.
He's coming. Let's go. Disperse ourselves.
Yeah.
We disperse ourselves.
Showing the map
We
area.
don't need the map. We don't need no map.
Why are they talking?
Walk away from him. Yeah? Don't engage with him. Yeah? Just walk away from him. Do not engage with him. If he starts asking you for your details, you want to know why you got to have certain rights. Yeah? You've got rights. You can't just come and take your details.
They've just sectioned me for absolutely no reason whatsoever. In fact, the sheikh invited me to speak with him. Absolute joke. The fact is that the police are scared of people speaking out. They're scared of recordings. They're scared of people that could put Birmingham police under dispute. It's ridiculous.
Why do you want his details? Don't take that bit of paper, Bob. Do not look at it.
You are now leaving the area voluntarily.
No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't, mate. Please. No, he hasn't. He don't know like that. Yeah?
We're dispersing.
He's not very good at reading right.
Look, he was only having a debate with someone. What the fuck?
Okay, so if I argue to you that I'm not breaching the peace, that's not a disbursement warning. That it covers me.
It's not up to whether he.
They invited me to speak. In fact, you know what? I will take the. You know what? I will take the arrest and I'll win. I will take the arrest and win. Because you know why? Because I wasn't breaching the peace. He invited me. He invited me. In fact, okay, you know what? I'll win it, and I'll also get the guy who pushed me arrested.
That was an imam wanting to point to a Christian. That's all it was.
So I'll take the arrest, and I'll win.
He's a Christian who wants to speak to an imam. That's all it was, officer.
He literally invited me on stage. So you know what? I'll take the arrest. I'm going to stand here. I'm going to take the arrest, and I'll win. Because I know that I have not been just breaching the peace.
Have you been dispersed under a Section 35 order?
Have I been breaching the peace?
That's not what I'm saying. I said
No, because you said that Section 35 is under people who have breached the peace. Have I breached the peace?
Well, you jumped in there and now.
No, we didn't. It was invited.
He was invited.
It's live on camera.
It's all on video.
Video's live. He was invited.
One guy who assaulted me.
Stop talking over me if you don't want to be spoken to, okay? There's been numerous incidents in the last hour, okay, where arguments are broken out and you've been at the centre of each and every one of them.
No, I haven't. In fact, no, it was one guy who. Right, hold on. One guy assaulted me when I came here. The other guy said, I don't want him here. How is that? I have done nothing. If you look at towards the reports that these people have made, I have not contributed anything physically, verbally, intellectually towards someone being under distress. It's this colloquialism that the police use is covered under people who have breached the peace. Have I breached the peace?
The dispersal order has been put in place.
Have I breached the peace?
Yes.
Yes, you have.
By doing what?
I've explained to these.
No, you haven't. He's just said.
Numerous incidents where there's been
Including
arguments have broken out, okay?
No, it's one-way argument. Arrest the people who have complaints against me for no reason. Because you know what? I guarantee you, with the legal representation that I have, I will be able to laugh at any sheet of paper you give at me. Because firstly, the Sheikh invited me on stage to speak. That is a consensual discussion between a community leader. I think as police officers, in order to alleviate aggression, you would want me to be there to discuss. Yeah, a guy who assaulted me that you've done nothing about. Another guy who just pointed me out when I wasn't even there.
Details for the assault, but we need you to leave and.
No, you're not getting my details because you're the one who eagerly tried to get my Hold on, you tried to eagerly get my details on camera because you know that fucked me over, including the fact that one interview. That is
Come
true.
and speak to us. Away. The fact that there's.
Yeah, and I have listened to you, but I'm not giving you my details.
Okay, but we need you to leave.
Under what section? Section 35, which includes me breaching the peace. Now, have I breached the peace?
Yes, you have.
By doing what?
Several. I've been told.
You've been told, so you're following orders.
The crowd
No, it's not. It's a man to the public.
What have I done?
So we need to.
You can't just say breach of peace. You
What?
can't just make it up.
What? Okay, listen, I'd be happy to stand on the other side of the road. However, that would be by the consent of your and not on this side of the road. However, you need to identify what is the parameters of breaching the peace. No, you haven't. You haven't, and I've done that.
It's on body on a hat.
It's on body. What you're gonna see? What you're gonna see is the fact that
you keep coming back into it, and every time you go back in there, okay, an argument breaks out and you're at the centre of...
Have I started these arguments? Have I even spoken to the people that have these
arguments? You're interviewing someone when an argument breaks out.
No, I haven't even interviewed people. I interviewed one person. One person, and you've correctly identified the format as an interview.
Well, I've been there on 2 separate instances.
Okay, the first occasion was a man who came up to you and said, I don't like him because he does Speaker's Corner videos. The second gentleman assaulted me for no reason as I tried to ask him a question. The third time that you're now using... No, I am not.
Okay, alright.
I'll take it. I'll take the arrest, and this will be laughable.
Okay, right, at the moment, mate, you're under arrest.
Yeah.
Okay, refusing to...
So he's arresting young Bob.
I'll laugh at him.
Yeah,
We'll take it.
Take it,
We'll take it. We're going to take the arrest. We'll take the arrest.
And Imam wanted to talk to a Christian. That's what Imam said. Take Bob and you take him.
Listen, this is the Islamification of the UK. A sheikh trying to speak to me is an arrestable offence. This is the demonstration of West Midlands police inability to police. We'll take the arrest, gentlemen.
We'll see you Sunday.
Have firstly said they've never been so ashamed of me for having videos about Christianity and why Islam is ultimately false. And also, they have now put out my personal information in a plea for other people to report me to the police, which they have already done. So, my family have essentially kicked me out off the virtue that I'm not deleting any of my videos or removing any of my social media accounts. So right now I'm sort of like sofa surfing or whatever they call it. I have a GoFundMe. I may ask Thread to put it in the comment section. I think it's already reached its goal, thank goodness. But I'm really stuck in it. I've got a lot of problems. I don't really have that many solutions. And right now, in terms of a career, I'm kind of finished. But what I will do is have a cracking smile on my face and a good time, because I think it's hilarious that just because of the merit of someone's opinion, you can be arrested, your family disagree with you, and ultimately your house, your potential future in your career is completely gone away with. It is the tragedy of the West, and very famously it's said that once your right to complain is removed, then ultimately you have no rights whatsoever, because then you can never demonstrate any injustice. That is why, for example, very famously, James Harvey, an individual who literally I did a speech with, is now currently being arrested for inciting racial hatred. It is a loaded judiciary, and ultimately for me, I'm going to fight it every step of the way, because I believe that if 16 to 17-year-olds will now have the right to vote, they have the right to political activism, religious activism, preaching, and I don't think I'm going to stop, even if it does fuck me over and I kamikaze my career into homelessness. But anyways, God bless you all. Please come support me if you want.